Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So yesterday we were describing the encounter between Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. We heard how Lord Nityananda had come to Navadvip after 20 years traveling in the holy places. He came to Navadvip to join with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya wanted to reveal to all of his devotees the identity of Lord Nityananda. He wanted them to know what is the exalted situation of Lord Nityananda. So he asked Srivas Pandit to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam describing the glories of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. And he recited the verse which describes how Lord Krishna enters into the forest of Vrindavan with his hair decorated with peacock feathers and his sharp-shaped earrings, as well as his footprints decorating the beauty of the Vrindavan forest, and his flute filled with the nectar from his lips, and the cowherd boys all singing his glory. So when Srivas recited this verse, then Lord Nityananda, the love, the bhava which he had within him just exploded, and Lord Nityananda collapsed on the ground. All of the different limbs of his body began to tremble and shiver, and there was constant flows of tears from his eyes. All of the different symptoms of one experiencing the highest ecstasy of love of God were exhibited in the body of Lord Nityananda. And all of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya could recognize these symptoms, that these were actual symptoms of love of God. In this way, Lord Chaitanya was making sure that there should be no doubt in the minds of any of his devotees as to the actual position of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda, we said, it is said, Brajendra Nandana se Sachi Suta Hailohe Balaram Hailo Nitai. That Lord Krishna is none different from Chaitanya, the son of Sachi. And Balaram is not different from Nitai. And later on, we have the songs by Narottam Das Thakur. We were just hearing the Prabhu sing Nitai Parakamala, and he said, he says there in the song Nitai Paraduke. How does it go? If you don't accept the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, then you cannot worship Radha and Krishna. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes the glories of Lord Nityananda. And he describes how he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Krishnadas Kaviraj describes that he was living with his brother, and they had a Sankirtan festival in their house from morning till night. And he said it happened that there was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, one of the personal servants of Lord Nityananda, named Mini Ketana Ramdas. So Mini Ketana Ramdas, he heard about the Sankirtan festival, and I think even he was invited, and he came to the home of Krishnadas Kaviraj, where he was living with his brother. When this Mini Ketana Ramdas came in the home of Krishnadas Kaviraj, there was one Brahmana there who was doing the puja for their family. They kept one Brahmana named Gunanrava Mishra, who was the pujari in their home. So when Mini Ketana Ramdas came to their home, everyone was offering respects. They knew Miniketana Ramdas to be a great devotee, full of ecstatic love for God. Miniketana Ramdas was always in ecstasy. Sometimes when people would offer obeisances to him, he would climb on their shoulders. And sometimes he would hit them with his flute, or sometimes he would lovingly smack their face. But when Miniketana Ramdas came to Gunana Mishra, this Gunana Mishra, he did not offer respects. And the reason why he did not offer respects was because he did not have faith in Lord Nityananda. And when Miniketana Ramdas saw this, then he said, here is the second Romaharshan Sutta. Because Lord Nityananda is not different from Lord Balaram. And Lord Balaram, when he had gone to Naimisharanya forest, he had also seen the pride in the heart of Romaharshan Sutta. And at that time, Lord Balaram had taken kusha grass and pierced the heart of Romaharshan Sutta. So Miniketana Ramdas detected this feeling of this priest in the home, that this priest, he has no faith in Lord Nityananda. So then there was discussion about this, and Krishnadas Kaviraj, he argued with this priest. He defended the position of Lord Nityananda. He argued that these two souls, Chaitanya and Nityananda, are not different from each other, and they have come to liberate all of us from material life. Krishnadas Kaviraj told them that if you accept one and reject the other, that is like the philosophy of half a hen. The logic of half a hen is that the man is thinking the front part eats food and the back part lays eggs. I will cut off the front part and keep the back part. Foolish person thinks, I will take the shelter of Lord Chaitanya, but I don't need Lord Nityananda. Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is better to be an atheist and reject both the brothers than to be a hypocrite and accept one and reject the other. So Miniketana Ramdas saw that the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj also did not have much faith in Lord Nityananda. So Miniketana Ramdas, in disgust, he took his flute and he broke it in two and he left that house. Krishnadas Kaviraj then says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, from that moment my brother fell down. Because he had offended a great devotee, so his fall down is definite. But then Krishnadas Kaviraj goes on to describe that night, that same night, in his dream, Lord Nityananda appeared to him. And Lord Nityananda appeared to him in a very beautiful form, decorated with silk cloth and a silk turban on his head and ornaments all over his body. He says Lord Nityananda's teeth were like pomegranate seeds, all red colored due to his chewing betel nut and pan. And Lord Nityananda was in the company of all of his associates who were all cowherd boys in Krishna Lila. And they were blowing bugles and conches and waving charmaras, and at the same time they were all chanting the holy names of Krishna. So when Krishnadas Kaviraj saw this, saw Lord Nityananda, he fell at the feet of Lord Nityananda and offered prayers. And Lord Nityananda spoke to him, gave him instruction. He told him, go now to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan you will achieve everything. So Krishnadas Kaviraj then, he woke up from the dream. He came back to consciousness and he saw it was already morning. And he said, immediately, at that very moment, I left home and I went to Vrindavan. And there in Vrindavan, he got the shelter of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami and the shelter of Raghunath Das Goswami. Anyone who wants to understand how to worship Radha and Krishna, we have to approach the Goswamis. And to approach the Goswamis, we have to go through Lord Nityananda. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then we can never expect to get the shelter of the Goswamis, and we can never understand Radha and Krishna. So in this way, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes his own encounter with Lord Nityananda, and how later on, of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj, when he was residing in Vrindavan, then he compiled this Chaitanya Charitamrita. We see both the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they're both due to the mercy of Lord Nityan. Another example of the importance of the mercy of Lord Nityananda comes in the life of Raghunath Das Goswami. That Raghunath Das, as a young man, he was always thinking about running away from home and joining Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And one time he directly approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and inquired that, I want to come with you, I want to join you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, don't act like a madman. Go home and behave like a normal person. In time, in the future, you will have an opportunity. And in order to stop their son running away from home, the parents of Raghunath had him married to a very beautiful young woman. His parents were fabulously wealthy, so they surrounded him with everything one could ever think of in terms of material pleasure. It did not mean anything to Raghunath, because Raghunath was so determined that he wanted to leave the home and go to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His parents were considering even binding him with chains to stop him from running away from home. But they considered that would be also useless. He has a wife more beautiful than the Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and he has wealth which is greater than Kuvera. So how can we ever expect these ropes or chains to keep him? So whenever Raghunath would run away, his father would send men after him to capture him and bring him back. And this happened on several occasions. Each time the father would send a man, they would capture him, bring him back. And it was not until Lord Nityananda happened to come to Panihati. At that time, Raghunath Das took the opportunity to go to Panihati to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Actually, Panihati is the home of a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya named Raghava Pandit. And Lord Nityananda actually spent 3 months there in Panihati. So when Lord Nityananda was residing at Panihati, Raghunath came there. And when Nityananda saw Raghunath, he recognized him and said, bring him here, I want to punish this man. And Lord Nityananda told Raghunath, your punishment is you have to put on a feast for all of the devotees. So it happened that all the vendors, they came with their flat rice and with their dahi and yogurt and different milk products they had, and a big festival was organized. They did not do any cooking, they just put whatever was ready available. Flat rice, bananas, some mangoes, yogurt and everything. And then Ganga Jal is there, the Ganges, they're right on the side of the river Ganges. So the flat rice was all washed in Ganges water and mixed with all the yogurt and fruits. And all the vendors, they heard that Raghunath is purchasing everything. He's putting on a big festival. So all the vendors who had bananas and whatever they had, they were all coming, not only from Panihati, but even the neighboring villages. They would all come and bring their goods and give it to Raghunath, and he would pay them. And everything was prepared and offered to the Lord, and then everyone felt the presence of Lord Chaitanya himself, that he actually appeared there in the midst while they were having kirtan. So this wonderful festival is going on even today. You can go there to Panihati at the time of Shiradahi festival, and you can see that the tradition is still being kept. So Lord Nityananda was very pleased that Raghunath Das had organized this festival so well. And Lord Nityananda placed his lotus feet on the head of Raghunath Das. And he told him that very soon you will be freed from the well of materialistic life. And after getting these blessings from Lord Nityananda, then Raghunath Das became very serious, and in a very short time he got away from home and he never went back. So these pastimes are very instructive. They show us the importance that we want to get the mercy of Krishna. We have to go through Krishna's representative. We want the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. It comes through, we have to first of all approach Lord Nityananda. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya will never accept us. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we were hearing yesterday, Radhanath Swami was describing about him taking sannyas at Katwa, and at that time Lord Nityananda was also there with him. So after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, Lord Chaitanya was in the mood of ecstasy, and he wanted to go immediately to Vrindavan. He was actually thinking that I'm not a householder anymore, I'm a sannyasi, now I'm going to Vrindavan, I'm going to live in the land of Krishna. So at that time, Lord Nityananda played a trick against Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya was in ecstasy. He did not know actually where he was, or what was the place. And he asked Lord Nityananda, what is this river here? Is this the Yamuna? Because all around there were cows, and it seemed like cowherd boys were also there. And Lord Chaitanya was thinking, I'm in Vrindavan, this must be Vrindavan. Actually, he was just a few kilometers away from Katwa, and it was a long way to Vrindavan. But when he saw the cows, and he thought the cowherd boys, he thought this must be Vrindavan. And when he saw the river, he thought this must be the Yamuna. So Lord Chaitanya was taking his bath in the Yamuna, what he thought was the Yamuna. And at that time, Advaita Acharya came by in a boat. So Lord Chaitanya was surprised that, hey, Advaita Acharya, what are you doing in Vrindavan? How did you get here? So then there was Advaita Acharya was explaining, well, I've come, I thought I would take you to my home. I prepared some nice foodstuffs. But Lord Chaitanya said, they told me this was the Yamuna. Well, they said, yes, well, the Ganges flows on the eastern side, and the Yamuna flows on the western side. And when the two meet, you see, you bathed on the western side, so that was actually the side of the Yamuna. So you did bathe in the Yamuna, although it's the Ganges, it was actually the western side, so it's the Yamuna. So Lord Nityananda had actually tricked Lord Chaitanya into coming in this place, so that he could meet Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya could bring him to Shantipur. And this would give the opportunity for Mother Sachi to come and see her son as a sannyasi and to cook for him for a last time. So we see how Lord Nityananda is so expert in arranging all of the different pastimes of the Lord. So Advaita Acharya told Lord Chaitanya, please come to my home. I have prepared a small quantity of rice and a few pieces of spinach are there, some leaves. Simple food, just good for you, a sannyasi. So Lord Chaitanya had been traveling for 3 days. He had not taken any food. So they thought, all right, let us go there. It's not far away. We will go to Shantipur. We will break our fast. So when they got to the home of Advaita Acharya there at Shantipur, they saw that a huge feast had been prepared. And there were 3 plates, one big metal plate in the center, and on either side there were 2 big banana leaves. And both of the banana leaves were covered and full with all different vegetables and sweets and savory preparations. He said there were 5 different kinds of bitter sukta preparations. Prabhupada says we hope in the future that those people publishing cookbooks will take advantage of the dishes which are prepared here which are mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, to compile these recipes in their cookbooks. So Lord Chaitanya was very happy to see the wonderful feast which was being offered to the deity. He said, yeah, I will take the feet of this person on my head, birth after birth, that they've offered so nice dishes to the Lord. And so then Lord Chaitanya said, let us eat. I will distribute. Let us distribute. Let everyone sit down and I will distribute. But Advaita Acharya said, no, this is my home. You sit down and I'm going to distribute. And so Lord Chaitanya said, yes, all right, just give me a little rice and a little few pieces of leaves. But Advaita Acharya said, no, this plate is for you. And he brought the whole big plate which had been offered to the deity. And so this huge feast was offered to Lord Chaitanya, and the same was given to Lord Nityananda. And Lord Chaitanya was complaining that, oh, this is not good, I'm a sannyasi, I'm a renunciate, I can't leave remnants for anybody, it's not good to leave remnants, you're giving me all this food, please don't. But Advaita Acharya would say, look, I know who you are. Stop fooling me. I know you eat 54 times a day in Jagannath Puri. What you're eating here today is just a mere mouthful of what you eat every day. But in contrast, Lord Nityananda, when he saw the food, he said, oh, I've been fasting for 3 days. It seems like I'm going to have to continue my fasting. This will not in any way satisfy my appetite. So then there were some joking words spoke between Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda. Advaita Acharya called Lord Nityananda a Brasta Avaduta, a reject Paramahamsa. You're just meant to give trouble to Brahmins like me. You make your living just by filling your belly at my expense. So when Advaita Acharya described Lord Nityananda as Brasta Avaduta, a reject Paramahamsa, he was actually glorifying Lord Nityananda. Because Lord Nityananda does not belong to any of the divisions of Varna and Ashram. He is the full transcendental personality. He has nothing to do with any of the divisions of society. So what appears to be criticism, but it is actually glorification of Lord Nityananda. Some foolish people, they take the side of Advaita Acharya and they say Advaita Acharya rejected Lord Nityananda, but they do not understand the actual meaning of Advaita Acharya's words. Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya are the two assistants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in distributing his love of God to the world. So they continued to have their prasadam. Advaita Acharya would come, and as they would eat, he would put more on the plate, and they would eat some more, and he'd put more on the plate. And in this way, continually he was serving and serving. Lord Chaitanya would continue to complain that this is too much, I'm a sannyasi, you're ruining my religious principles. And Lord Nityananda would complain also that this is nothing, you've not satisfied my appetite at all, I'm still hungry. So finally Lord Nityananda rose and he took some rice in his hands and he threw it on the ground. And when some of that rice fell on the body of Advaita Acharya, then Advaita Acharya he jumped and danced. And then Advaita Acharya said, look, he said, this madman has come to my house, he's trying to make me a madman also. Advaita Acharya was actually the head of all the Brahmins. He was in the senior most position as a Brahmana, very orthodox, smarter Brahman, but actually he's the topmost devotee as well. So his dancing in ecstasy shows us the power of Mahaprasada, because the remnants of Lord Nityananda fell on his body. So he became ecstatic just from contacting the few grains of rice. So this way we're shown that the remnants of the devotee is very powerful. Lord Nityananda rebuked Advaita Acharya and told him, you've been offensive to prasadam. In order to get relief from your offense, you'll have to feed 100 sannyasis. Advaita Acharya said, I'm never inviting another sannyasi to my home again. This one visit from you is enough. Never again. So this was the loving dealings between Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya. Of course, Lord Nityananda is famous for his work as preaching, delivering the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the fallen souls. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, we hear how Lord Chaitanya ordered Lord Nityananda along with Haridas. Suno Suno Nityananda, Suno Haridas, Sarvatra Prakash, Prati Gari Gari Giya, Koro E Bhiksha, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. The Lord Chaitanya asked Haridas and Lord Nityananda that they should go to every door and every gully and every lane, and they should knock on the doors and beg the people to read the books about Krishna and to worship Krishna and to chant the name of Krishna. So this way Haridas and Lord Nityananda would go everywhere to beg all the fallen souls to chant the holy name. So Lord Nityananda does not do things in a small way. He wants to do something wonderful for the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he thought, who are the most unqualified persons to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? Who are the most sinful, the most disgusting persons? Let me go to them and I will make them Krishna conscious. So of course at that time Jagai and Madhai, they were known to be the greatest sinners, the biggest debauchees. So Lord Nityananda immediately thought, yes, let's go to Jagai and Madhai. Let's make them devotees. Then everyone will know the glory of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, when we go out for preaching, we tend to think, oh, where will we find a good place? You know, where are people really nice and really receptive? I want to go there. Lord Nityananda's mood in preaching is, where are the people the most sinful, the biggest debauchees, the most fallen? Let me go there. So, I mean, this mood didn't really suit Haridas, and it got Haridas some problems. Well, Haridas would complain that, you know, you sent me with Lord Nityananda, but we went to Jagai and Madhai, and we had to run for our life. I'm an old man, I can't run so fast. If I have to go every day with Lord Nityananda, it's so much problem. Sometimes he sees a beautiful young girl, and he will ask her to marry him. So Haridas, of course, he was, even when they go swimming sometimes, he said, Lord Nityananda, he likes to go in the Ganga where the alligators are swimming. And so preaching work is not easy, you know, to take up that mood of Lord Nityananda. It's a very, very special mood. But Lord Nityananda, by his mercy, he was able to deliver Jagai and Madhai. Dina hina yata chilo harinam udarilo tara shakshi Jagai Madhai. That by the holy name, these two fallen souls, Jagai and Madhai, they could be delivered. Of course, that holy name was coming from the mouth of Lord Nityananda. Therefore, it was a very, very pure name. So, another pastime is recounted in the Chaitanya Bhagavat to illustrate the mercy and the inconceivable power of Lord Nityananda. It describes that there was one leader of the dacoits who was a Brahmin by birth, and he was attracted to steal some of the ornaments of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda was decorating himself with many different ornaments of jewels and gold, and he had many followers who were wealthy merchants, and they would give him these different bracelets and things, and he would wear them, decorating his body. We saw Srila Prabhupada also sometimes, some disciple would give him a ring. Prabhupada would put it on and wear it for a little while. And they were all valuable ornaments of gold and silver and pearls. So this leader of a gang of dacoits, who was a Brahmin by birth, was planning how to steal these ornaments. So they came to the home. Nityananda was living in the home of one devotee, Haranya, who was a nice devotee. Ranya Majumdar, he was living there. And the gang of dacoits came and they waited for the dark to come. And they were waiting and they were just planning which of the ornaments they were going to steal. But as they were waiting, they overcame, the darkness overcame them, and they also fell asleep. And they fell asleep. They did not wake up until the next morning when the sun rose. So when they woke up and they saw the sun had risen, then they felt worried that people will see us with all these weapons, will be in trouble. They'll know they were going to do no good. So they said, quick, we have to hide these weapons. We'll come another night. Providence is not in favor of us stealing today. We'll come another night. The second night came, and before they went to the home, they first of all worshipped the goddess Chandi, and they worshipped with wine and different animal flesh. And they thought, tonight, for sure, we will be successful. We will steal all of these ornaments. But when they got to the home where Lord Nityananda was residing, they were surprised to see huge figures of guards who were marching on either side of the house. And these guards were built very strongly with huge arms and biceps, very powerfully built bodies, and they had tulsi beads around their neck, and they were chanting the holy name of Krishna. So when the dacoits saw these guards, they thought, wow, we will never be able to do anything with these people there. Those guards are so powerful, even one of them could stop all of us. So they thought, we'll have to leave it. Providence is not in the favor. We will come another day. So after some time, at the third attempt, they came ready to steal everything. But just as they were entering in the darkness of night, suddenly there was thunder and lightning and storm. And the thieves could not see where to go. They could not see in which direction to move. And as they walked, they fell into the gutter where all the garbage was being kept. They fell into places where all scorpions and snakes were residing. And some of them broke their bones, and they were all suffering terribly. At that time, Indra also played his part, and Indra also sent a big storm and heavy, heavy rain with balls of ice falling from the sky. So that all of this gang of thieves, they were all suffering terribly. So after this happened, then the leader of these dacoits, he began to contemplate in his mind what had been happening. And he understood, this Lord Nityananda, he is no ordinary person. He must be the Supreme Lord himself. On 3 occasions I have come to try to steal his wealth. And on each occasion I've been foiled. So that thief came to Lord Nityananda and fell at his feet and begged forgiveness, and had told everything what he was planning to do, and begged Lord Nityananda to forgive him for his sins. So Lord Nityananda accepted this dacoit as one of his followers, and he sent him out to preach. He said, now you know it's wrong to steal. I want you to go and preach to the other dacoits also, and get them also to stop the stealing. So in this way, many, many fallen souls all got the shelter of Lord Nityananda. So look, this is why we say the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are more soothing than millions of moons. That he gives shelter to all of the fallen souls. So one more pastime I wanted to speak about Lord Nityananda is after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he gave his danda to Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda then broke that danda into 3 pieces and threw it away. Oh. It's significant that he broke it into 3 because he knew, of course, Lord Chaitanya is not an ekadandi sannyasi. He is actually a tridandi sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya was carrying the ekadanda, but actually Nityananda made it a tridandi by breaking it into 3. And he also shows that actually Lord Chaitanya is not required to carry a danda, that he is not a sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya is above all of these different divisions of society. But when Lord Chaitanya asked what happened to my danda, Then Lord Nityananda said, he said, what happened? He said, what happened? Remember we were dancing, you were having kirtan, and you were dancing, and you jumped in the air, and you fell on the danda. At that time it broke. This is Lord Nityananda's joking words to Lord Chaitanya. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya was not pleased. I gave you my only possession, my danda, you broke it. So Lord Chaitanya said, now I'm going on my own to Jagannath Puri. I don't want to go with you. You can go first or I will go first. Whatever you like, but I'm not going with you. So in this way Lord Chaitanya, he went first. Lord Chaitanya went first to Puri. So this is some of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is the greatest servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just as Lord Balaram in his form as Shesha serves the Lord in many different ways, so that we said Lord Nityananda is not different from Balaram, and so his form of Shesha is also the expansion of Lord Nityananda. And at the bottom of the universe, Ananta Shesha is holding all the different planets on his hoods, and each of the hoods are reciting the pastimes of the Lord. And it's said that these different hoods of Ananta Shesha are countless, and they've been describing the glories of the Lord since time immemorial. So these hoods have been chanting the glories of the Lord since the beginning of time, and they've never exhausted the glories of the Lord. In the same way, Lord Nityananda is continually reciting, describing the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so we will stop now. Thank you very much. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Gaur Premanand. Sri Srimad Bhakti Vinasa Swami Maharaj ki